God bless you guys. How are you? What's up? Bless. Hope you're having a blessed and amazing day in Jesus' name. I have a small word, just one verse that I want to share with you guys and go over a little bit. And it's 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. And it says, "Let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, and in purity." Now, this is a message for my youth out there, right? As youth, in a world like we are in now, a big majority of youth are obviously not Christian. It's very obvious to see that, right? You go anywhere, you see mostly youth people in the world rather than in the faith. But for those who are youthful and faithful, this word is for you, okay? So I'm going to read it again. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. And it says, "Let no one," not a single person, "despise your youth." Right? Meaning, let no one around us, outside the faith, in the faith, despise, go against us as youth. Right? Just because of our age. Right? People may say, "Oh man, but you're so young, just enjoy your life, bro. I was already in the world. There's a difference. There's a difference between me and you. I lived the life that you're living, the kind of lifestyle. I was in the world. But you don't know what I'm living because you've never been Christian. You've never tried Jesus. But I've tried what you've tried because I wasn't born Christian." Right? But look, as youth, sometimes people outside of the faith may look at us and are like, "Man, you're wasting your youth," right? "You're wasting your precious young lives when you can use to enjoy your life," right? Whatever they say, right? Then you have the people who are inside the faith, actually. And they're like, "You can't do this, man. You're too young for that." Or, "You can't do this. You're not old enough." Or, right? Despising youth can be a number of things, right? But it says, "Let no one despise your youth, but," right, "be an example to the believers." Now, why do we have to be an example? Because if people try to use our age to limit us or come against us from whatever we're doing for Christ, right, we have to be an example so that way when people see us, they don't have anything to criticize us about. Like, "Oh, look at the way that he does this or says this. Look at the way how she dresses and how she talks." No, they won't be able to, because we will be leading by example, not just by words. We're going to get on to it. All right. Wait. I'm getting too far ahead. It says, "But be an example to the believers." It's interesting that it says to the believers, right? It doesn't say be an example to the world, even though we are supposed to be. And the Bible does say in other verses that we are supposed to be. But in this specific verse, it's saying to the believers, right? To other believers, be an example. Here's something interesting. It says, be an example in word, like what I just said, We can't just be an example by our words, right? That's one of them, yes. But also in conduct, the way that we act, right? The way that we act when people are watching, right? In love, the way that we treat other people, right? The way that we show care and love towards other people, hospitality towards other people, right? In spirit, right? Our spirit is connected with God, right? We have that relationship with God. We have that love for Jesus, right? Our spirit is an example. We're not living our lives depressed. We're living our lives in joy and in victory. Even when something difficult happens in our life, we still have that hope that most people wouldn't have, right? So in spirit, we lead by example. In faith, we lead by example. Obviously, the Bible talks a lot about faith, right? The Bible actually says that it is impossible to please God without faith. It's in, I think, Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 or Hebrews 12. One of those two chapters, in the beginning of those verses, in the beginning of those chapters, should say that verse. I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's in the book of Hebrews, either chapter 11 or 12. If not, somewhere in the book of Hebrews. But anyway, right? In faith. Right? Are we faithful to God? Do we truly believe in him? Right? But now here's an interesting one that many people don't talk about. We've always heard about the way we speak, the way we act, the way we love, how do I say it? The attitude of our spirit, I guess, right? And our faith, right? These are all 5 common things that we hear about all the time on how to live, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to word this, but right, we've all heard about those 5 things, but there's one thing that I feel personally doesn't get talked about as much specifically. Purity. In purity, we lead by example. And that is the one I want to talk about in this video. Now, it's already almost 7 minutes, so this might be 15 minutes. I'm not sure. But that's the only thing I want to talk about today is purity. Which maybe the title of this video will be, Are You Pure? Okay? But that's the question I want you to just keep in mind throughout the remainder of this video, and even after you finish watching it, is, are you pure? Okay? What is purity? Most people would say, oh, well, purity is, when you're innocent, right? Purity is, most commonly known as, the way that you act, right? Do you act pure and stuff? But although purity has a lot to do with conduct and the way that you act, conduct is more of how you present yourself in public. Purity is more of the position of your heart, right? If your heart is not pure, let me say it like this. You need purity in order to have conduct, right? In order to behave the right way, your heart has to have that intention first. And the thing about purity is that purity gives your heart the motivations and intentions to do things, right? Being pure means that you do something nice for someone because you truly want to from your heart. Not because you want to get something in return, not because of this, that, and the third, not because somebody told you, not because you feel forced, but because you just genuinely want to do it out of the pureness within your heart. Right? And this is what purity is. Conduct is how you present yourself outside. Purity is how you act inside. Right? Again, it's the position of your heart. It's the condition your heart is in, right? To be pure. When you are behind closed doors, how do you act? Do you still act the same way you do in public? Do you still talk the same way you do in public? Do you still... Honestly, I can't think of anything else right now. But do you still do those things that you do in public in private? Because if not, you are not pure. For something to be pure, it has to be 100% of something, right? For something, let's say we have, let me see what I could use. Let's say this Rubik's Cube, right? You ask me, what is it made of? And I tell you, it's pure plastic. It's nothing but plastic. That would be true, right? But on the inside there, well, I don't know if you can see it, but it's plastic, right? It's all plastic. So it's purely plastic, right? Just like water, right? In order for water to be purified, right? In order for water to be called purified, it has to be completely water. It can't be part water and a little bit of milk there. It can't be water with a little bit of juice. It can't be water with a little bit of fruit in it. It has to be just water, right? Just water. That's what makes it pure. 100%. It's 100% water. This is 100% plastic. But now your heart has to be 100% pure. Your heart has to be 100% righteous. Right? In order for you to be pure, you have to be... Because let me show you something that may seem to be pure from the outside, but then you look on the inside and you see that it is not what it seems to be. Okay? So you look at this, right? You see this box here, right? Now, the box would be what? 100% paper, right? You'd say, oh yeah, that's not made of anything else. That's just paper. But then you open it and you see that there's foam in here. So it's not 100% paper because there's foam too. But from the outside, it looks like paper. It looks like it's 100% paper. But then when you look on the inside, it's not 100% paper. And in that same way, sometimes we try to be an example for other people by showing them something on the outside that makes us look like we're Christian, that makes us look like we're holy, that makes us look like we're righteous. But then on the inside, we're not pure. We're not actually like that. And that is a very important thing to have. Purity. So if you want to be an example to someone, for all of these other things, for word, conduct, love, spirit, and faith, to all be ways that you be an example, you need purity for all of them. Purity carries every last one of these 5. You can't have all 5 of those if you don't have purity. So that's it. It's the message. Hopefully it was able to be a blessing to you guys. If it was, share it. Share it. That's all I can really say. I don't really care that much about likes, subscribers, but just share it. The main thing is that people hear this and do what it is that I preach with the Bible. So, yeah. Hopefully it was a blessing. God bless you guys.